Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
I love the nurses that come and see me.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
Since I've learned about Angel Care, I would recommend them to anybody.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to our Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching. Thanks as always to the producer and editor of our series, Jeff Durall. Also the camera and lighting work of Brendan Cooley from Eagle Community Television. We're at Cunningham Hall on the campus of Fort Hays State University, first floor, with the Assistant Professor of Health and Human Performances, Dr. Helen Miles, as we talk about her recent recognition in the Outstanding Teacher Award for spring semester at Fort Hays State University. And now with 47 years at Fort Hays State, Dr. Miles, I'd say it's about time.
Well, you know, if you practice that long enough, you have to get good at it, surely.
Indeed. Thank you for taking the time to tell us a little bit about the Health and Human Performance Department at Fort Hays State University. First of all, your career choice, Dr. Miles.
Well, when I was an undergraduate here at Fort Hays State, I started out majoring in mathematics, got through most of the fundamental courses in it, and then I decided, well, you know, that's not very much fun. So I looked around, and I was influenced by some of the faculty that were here at that time, and made the choice to go into teaching and physical education.
Educators, mentoring further educators.
That's right.
That is an amazing story. I hear that time and again, I think, is strong teachers influence later.
Well, and you know, they took such an interest in the students and their success, and that's something that certainly I try to do, and I think all of our faculty here do.
What about teaching? What is it you think brings that satisfaction to you, Dr. Miles?
I think probably seeing students be successful, and part of that is due to teaching, perhaps. As a teacher, you can influence them either direction. And to get them moving in a positive direction, I think one thing as a teacher, you have to be well prepared yourself, and then know when to use patience and know when to push.
The award itself was announced, and the winners recently received a surprise visit in their classroom. You were one of those, as we mentioned, in the Outstanding Teacher Award. What was the class reaction?
Well, fortunately, they clapped and cheered a little bit.
Nobody booed then.
No one booed.
That's a good sign.
And that was a fun class. It was a 1:30 in the afternoon, and I had quite a few athletes in that class, and so it was a fun class, and they tended to interact very well. So they reacted appropriately, let me say.
Always very important. The three recipients, who included Dr. Bill Stark, Professor of Biological Sciences, who won the Outstanding Scholarly Activity and Research Award, and then Dr. Kate McGonigal, Associate Professor of Sociology, recognized as the Outstanding Service Award. Each of them received a $500 check for their accomplishments, and there were three other faculty members who were recognized during the fall conference, and then the final selection will be at the new semester coming at Fort Hays State this fall. They received a Commerce Bank Award, was part of that award for those recipients. Tell us about some early influences for you. You mentioned some faculty at Fort Hays State. What about in those early years? Do you recall teachers or?
Yes, and they were a big influence to me. When I first started teaching here, it was under the chair of Russ Bogue, and he was a big influence, very supportive of faculty. And I think that is a strong factor in favor of administrators.
Are you still coaching?
No, I'm not, except, you know, teaching could be viewed a little bit as coaching. I try to push them along to get to the goal.
How about those basketball years, though? There were some really dandy ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they were good years. It was when the program was first starting here. So we had a lot of struggles to go through and a lot of good players that we had.
But look at the programs now.
Oh, I know it. They've gone a long ways. Actually, I coached basketball and softball and taught and did women's intramurals. So it was a busy time.
And rarely got out of the house on Saturday night with all of that. Tell me about the overall program in health and human performance. What are career opportunities for the young people?
Actually, that has changed a great deal through the years. As an undergraduate, my degree was actually called physical education, and that was about the only option we had. Now we have several options. One of which is teaching K through 12 plus coaching. We have health promotion, rec and sport management. A lot of our students are interested in that area.
Tell me a little more about that. What is that specifically?
The recreation part of that prepares the student to go out and do more like city recreation.
Oh, okay.
And many of the people here with Hayes Rec came through our program. The sport management, they may go out with maybe an emphasis in business and do an internship with a sports team and maybe go that direction.
So there are a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah.
Others in the program then? Dr.
We also do an exercise therapy program in our department, which provides the prerequisites to go on to physical therapy, occupational therapy, and that's becoming a bigger program for us. And then, of course, athletic training, which is its own department, but it operates under HHP.
Isn't it amazing the development of physical education programs that relate now not only to athletes as we normally think of, but now adults are really buying into these programs throughout the country.
Yes, and we've added a lot of programs online, one of which is a health studies program, and we allow students to come in, and these are non-traditional. They're out working in the health field. They may not have received their 4-year degree, like a physical therapy assistant, and they can count hours toward their graduation that they earned getting that certification.
This online production that Fort Hays State has implemented over the last few years has really benefited, hasn't it?
Right, and I think it's a big benefit to students that are working, maybe non-traditional, and you have to realize these are people that are working maybe full-time, they have a family, they may be dealing with older generation and their kids, so their time is limited and they get in, they do their work, and they're ready to move on.
And certainly there's no way they could travel to the campus for on-campus programs, so this really fills quite a need, doesn't it, Dr. Miles?
And our health and human performance degree has gone online now. So within a 2-year period, summer, fall, spring semesters, in 2 years they can go through our entire core.
Dr. Miles was recognized for being a consummate teacher. Nomination letter for her said that she was not shy about taking on the challenge of developing new and/or updating existing courses for our virtual offerings. So you have really adapted to this new virtual reality.
Yes, I enjoy it, and I enjoy teaching online courses. We've expanded into a lot of health classes, environmental health, global health, public health. So these are new areas for us. Forward thinking
and world ready.
We hope so.
It's not just a motto at Fort Hays State,
That's
I think,
right.
Dr. Miles.
That's right.
The letter also continued, she is meticulous in assuring the student will find her courses provide an environment for learning. Her courses, said the letter, are rigorous for both graduate and undergraduate students on campus and online. You want these young people thinking, don't you, Dr.
I do,
Miles?
and I want them to come out of here with knowledge, and be able to adapt to a situation and think it through. You know, we talk a lot about critical thinking. When that term first came into being several years ago, I thought, well, what is that? You know, but now I see that it is necessary perhaps to help students see how to think. You know, what do they need to examine and how do they make decisions?
And that critical thinking can serve them all their life.
Oh, yes, yes, certainly.
Dr. Miles was recognized for being a consummate teacher. You thought about what that phrase means, Dr. Miles?
I think it means that you should have ideal characteristics of a good teacher and be able to carry that into the classroom, get it across to the students, and be successful. To me, being successful is to have my students be successful.
And just one of the great faculty members at Fort Hays State. You are certainly one of the overall faculty members at Fort Hays State, which brings real possibilities to these students. We've got a strong faculty here.
Yes, we do. And you know, in terms of the award I received, there's a lot of faculty that are very good, so it was a real honor to me to be selected.
I'd like for you in our final couple of minutes, Dr. Miles, see, this goes a lot quicker than you thought it would. In our final couple of minutes, give some tips for parents to encourage their students as good students.
Okay.
What would you tell parents, Dr. Miles?
I think help your young person develop self-confidence, to be empathetic toward other people. You know, we hear so much about bullying now. They need to be sensitive to that and, you know, develop the self-confidence. And one of the learning skills is probably being able to read. And this is something that probably is not done quite so much anymore, but be able to read, comprehend, and know what it is they read.
Thank you for your time. In our final couple of minutes, if I may, I'd like to ask you to indulge me in a personal privilege, if I could. And Brandon, your task is to make sure that this isn't edited out of the final program. That's your assignment, Brandon. We started this little adventure over 3.5 years ago. I wrote this down to make sure I got the words right, if you'll permit me, Dr. Miles. At the time it began, we decided to give it 3 months and see how it went. Now, with nearly 450 interviews, I'm saddened to tell you that our producer, editor, camera, and lighting director, Jeff Durall, is leaving the Eagle organization to pursue other career opportunities. In my opinion, any job, there are several things that make the job enjoyable. The work itself, the people you work for, and the people you work with. It's been a real joy to work with Jeff Durall. His dedication to his craft, attention to detail, experience, and enthusiasm make our weekly visits something I look forward to. Since the early days of his career in Denver in television video work, his years at KBSH, his work with KMA Television, and finally the years with Eagle Television, and once in a while even as co-host with Scott Boomer on KAYS Radio for the morning show. Jeff brings a great skill set and a level of enthusiasm in everything he does. Through our years of association, there have been no physical confrontations that I'm aware of, no screaming, and only occasionally interventions from law enforcement officials. Usually, I'm happy to say, only in the context of our interviews. Well, finally, some good news. Jeff will be staying in our community. And yes, the authorities have been notified. In closing, instead of looking at the camera as he tells me to do every week, I'm going to look at Jeff behind the camera and tell you that you indeed will be missed, Jeff Durall. It's been a real joy and a pleasure to work with you. And our sincere best wishes in your new adventure. That's our community connection. Thanks for watching.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
My Angel Care physical therapist taught me how to do exercises safely.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
It gives us independence in our home.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.